So then Kamsa sent, with even more envy and anger before, he sent another demon to Vrindavan. This is the first time he sent a demon to Vrindavan, knowing that Krishna was the person who was to kill him. He sent Keshi. Keshi went running to Vrindavan. He took the form of a gigantic horse. It's not that Keshi was just a horse. He was a powerful asura. But he had such incredible mystical powers, he could change his form any way he wanted. So by his chanting of mantras and whatever else he was doing, he manifested his body into an enormous horse. And went galloping into Vrindavan. The whole earth was shaking. The hairs on top of his neck were hitting the clouds. It caused such a fear in Vrindavan. Jiva Goswami tells that the cows in the Goshalas were so afraid, they broke out of the Goshalas and started running in all directions in the pastures and the forests, crying out in fear. And when Nanda Maharaj saw this, he and the cowherd men went running to see what it was, and when they saw Keshi, this enormous horse galloping and making terrible sounds, they didn't know what to do. Then Krishna, he ran really fast in front of Nanda and in front of all the Gopas and in front of Balaram and stood right in front of Keshi. And Yashoda Mai, she cried out, "Krishna, this is not for you to do. Why are you... How will you stop an enormous horse like this?" And Krishna said, "He's just a horse." And Yashoda Mai was saying to Nanda Maharaj, "Why Krishna always has to be the one to kill all these demons? Can't you? You're the king of Vrindavan. Can't you? Can't you have someone else do it for once?" And Krishna saw his mother was in great distress. So he just smiled upon her and reassured her. Then he looked at Keshi and challenged him to fight. When Krishna was standing face to face with Keshi, for a little boy like this to challenge such a personality to fight as Keshi, it's like an insult. Keshi opened his mouth as wide as it could go and roared. No, because I don't have a good throat, I can't try to resemble this roar, but all of you can try. Everyone. Sound like a squirrel on its deathbed. But anyways, but he was roaring. And when Keshi roared, it was like millions of thunders filling the sky. Everyone was watching. His eyes were red like coals as he galloped toward Krishna with the singular intent to devour him. And Krishna started very, very skillfully dancing in different directions so that Keshi couldn't really catch him. And then Krishna grabbed Keshi by the legs and threw him the distance of 100 bows. Keshi went unconscious. But when he woke up seconds later, he was really humiliated. So he was more angry than ever before, and again rushed toward Krishna with his mouth open. Krishna effortlessly took his fist and put it in the mouth of Keshi, just stuck it in. See? Just as a serpent effortlessly slips into a hole, he put his arm in Keshi's mouth. Now this arm is so soft. To the gopis, to the gopas, to Yashoda Mai, his arm is as soft as the stem of a lotus flower, and so delicate and gentle. But to Keshi, his fist began to grow. And the first sign of auspiciousness was suddenly, miraculously, just by being in his mouth, all of Keshi's teeth just fell out. Then Krishna's hand became hot as fire, and his arm and fist expanded, till it completely choked any possibility of air going in and out of the throat of Keshi. So in that state, Keshi his eyes were bulging, all his hairs were trembling, his limbs were struggling, and he fell to the ground, past stool and urine. If Krishna wants to embarrass you in public, yes, because this demon was really proud, and here he is passing urine and stool all over the place, and everybody's watching. Even the demigods are watching. So don't feel bad if Krishna humiliates you. Because ultimately, Keshi was given liberation. And the demigod showered flowers. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that each of these demons who came to Vrindavan represent obstacles within our own selves to the path of pure devotional service, following in the footsteps of the residents of Vrindavan. Keshi represents, please listen carefully, because it may consciously or unconsciously apply to us. Keshi represents the feeling, the thought in a devotee's mind that I am a great devotee. I am a great Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, whatever. I'm a great leader. This consciousness is like Keshi. One time, Srila Prabhupada asked devotees, what is the most beautiful of all animals? And devotees, knowing exactly what the most beautiful animal is, they were so eager to please Prabhupada, they said, the cow. Prabhupada said, no, the most beautiful animal is the horse. Yes? That was interesting. Now, on so many levels, it's important for us to understand that Prabhupada has different definitions of certain things that he says, that he reveals at different times. But a horse is very beautiful. When Krishna drove the chariot of Arjuna, he had beautiful horses, his own personal horses sometimes. So when we think we're a great devotee, and horses are very fast, and they can jump very high. And some horses, some horses, I know somebody, one of my cousins in America, he owns racehorses. Yes, Ajay, you know about these. Ajay was a star polo player when he was younger. And at his daughter's marriage, there was horse polo and elephant polo games. Which isn't as action-packed as horse polo games. It's aesthetic, but not very fast-moving. So, my cousin, the amount of money he invests in a single horse, it's a huge amount. More than Rolls Royces or Mercedes-Benz, a horse. And then the horse sprains its ankle and everything's finished. But, so here, Keshi, he appeared as the fastest, biggest, most champion horse that has ever been. And he's running to Vrindavan. Representing our tendency to think that I'm a great devotee. I'm a great guru. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught the first principle of a Vaishnava is Nitya Krishna Jas. Jivara Swarupai Nitya Krishna. Jivara Nitya Krishna Das. That we are eternally the servants of Krishna. Gopi Bharatur Padakamalayora Dasa Dasanudas. The servants of the servants of the servants of Krishna. Trinadapi Sunichena Taror Iba Sehishnana. Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. To be humble like blade of grass. Forgiving and tolerant like a tree. Eager to offer all respect to others and expect none in return. This is the spirit of a true devotee. This is what is required to actually cry out the names of the Lord. Bhaktivinoda Thakur in this regard explains how when we understand the power and the presence of these different influences within us, it should totally humble us to take shelter of Krishna. Because just as we have no power with all of our physical, intellectual abilities to fight against something like Keshi, similarly, we have no power to fight against this tendency within ourselves. But just as the Brajavasis were completely dependent on Krishna, even though they didn't even see him as God, they just saw him as their loving friend. In situations like this, they had no other shelter. In the same way, to humble ourselves before Krishna, in the spirit that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught through these verses we have just recited. That is our only hope. Srila Prabhupada told us, what is the Vaikuntha consciousness? And of course the Goloka consciousness is something deeper than even this. It's the highest Vaikuntha. The Vaikuntha consciousness is every devotee is better than me. Let me serve. And in Vrindavan, with all of its intimate, esoteric, ecstatic, loving relationships between everyone in Krishna and Radha, and everyone with each other, there is this appreciation and honor of everyone's devotional service. But this idea, I'm better than you. And if I'm better than you, that means my guru and my temple and my mission and everything is better than yours. It's like an all-devouring Keshi. The capacity to actually appreciate devotional service in others is the quality of a Vaishnava. So this Keshi is either manifest or unmanifest in all of us. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is revealing how we should respond by really humbling ourselves. I'm not a great devotee. I just want to be the servant of the servant of the servant of great devotees. That consciousness is greatness in the eyes of Krishna. And that consciousness is the consciousness in which we can raise our arms like Draupadi and sincerely cry out the holy name.